All right, how are we doing? We're missing a few people, huh?
What is the stretch goal?
What is a stretch goal?
Yeah.
It says right in there. We'll talk about it if we need to. All right, we're missing a lot of people, and I was missing a lot of people last class, so that's awesome. Okay, quickly, before we jump into today, I want to talk about 482. Pass those around, please. Sam, actually, you probably don't need one. Pass those around. I've got more if you need them. Silver taps tonight? Cool. No, Andres? Okay, so as you'll see on this handout, 482 next semester for SOMS is optional. As I like to say, you don't have to take SOMS, you get to take SOMS, and you get to be in my class and make you a better person, okay? SOMS 482 is optional. Why are people still coming in? Thanks. Need any more? Okay, cool. So what you'll see right on there is what you've already done, gentlemen. Okay. If you've taken all the SOMS courses, you're good to go. All you got to do is take 482, right? And that is your choice. Okay. I will be teaching 482. I don't know how many sections or when yet. It depends on how many of you sign up. Now, class of 21 was our highest take rate, meaning more people out of last year's graduating class took 482 than ever before. Personally, I like class of 22 better. So I'd like to see you beat them if we can, okay? Ivan, you missed the whole football conversation. Ryan, I have to wait now. No, you're late. You're too late. Okay? All right, so you see on there the courses that you're supposed to take. If you missed any of the courses, we can work with that. Okay? If you didn't take 281 or something like that sophomore year, we can try to figure out a way to work with you. Okay? All you have to do is complete an applied experiences worksheet, which is simply I've taken SOMS, here are my instructors, etc. We will help you fill it out. It's very easy. The only things you have to do extra in 42, it is just like any other SOMS class. It's not more work. It is the same work, which is not a lot, right? The one thing we ask you to do is a mentor interview. You actually have to interview somebody about leadership that is not in your immediate family. And I think they say like no CTOs or something like that, okay? But by all means, students have given me nothing but positive feedback. It's a great opportunity to sit down and talk to somebody. If you don't have anyone, we'll help you find someone that you can interview. You can interview your SOMS instructors, all that stuff. It's pretty easy, pretty fun. We actually give you questions and everything to ask. It's very straightforward. It's very easy to do. Okay. The Hollingsworth certificate does not show up on your transcripts, to be fair and transparent. Most employers don't really look at your transcripts or give a shit. Some do. However, you can absolutely tell them what it is and what it's about. You can put it in your cover letter. You can talk about an interview. I can give you loads of great things to say. The reason you would want to do that is because, let's say you're applying for a position, okay? And there's 60 job applicants, all right? It is usually razor thin to separate y'all out. I don't care what career field you're going into, all y'all look alike. On paper, all of you look great for the most part, okay? So if I'm looking at those 60 applicants, I'm probably gonna cast 30 or 40 aside just because of typos, poorly done, not quite in line, but I'm gonna try to find reasons not to pick you quickly and easily. And I'm going to cast you aside, right? And then I'm going to get down to maybe 10 or 15 that I really review and look at them thoroughly and be like, okay, I'll probably throw out another 5 to 7, and so I've got maybe 7 really good applicants, okay? Literally, the separators are things like the certificate, okay? If you can explain to me what this is and why it's a benefit to you, and Ivan has it and Matthew doesn't, all right, I'm probably going to pick Ivan, right? Because he's going to tell me, well, I took an optional leadership class I wasn't required to take and allowed me to learn from my peers and learn about myself, learn strengths and weaknesses, develop my authentic leadership style, as well as the opportunity to engage in ethic and moral discussions where we discuss right versus right ethics. Okay, cool. Tell me more. I like you. I'm going to hire you. Okay. So What I'll also show, this is, the reason I'm showing you this is the only feedback I get. I don't get it from other instructors. But I will show you what other students have said about me and SOMS 482.
Can you make the font bigger?
Probably. A little better? This is from last spring's class.
What books did y'all read?
Good Business is the name of the book. I'll show it to you. I'll scroll down a little bit.
Why are those on there twice?
There's a few duplicates for some reasons, okay? The right versus right ethics that we did for one class, that's essentially what we do all next semester. This is not just my class. This is feedback from cadets in general, and I'm telling you the truth. They often say it is their favorite SOMS class, and multiples have said it's the favorite class they've taken today now. Right? So if you're enjoying SOMS at all, again, it keeps getting better. Kind of like with your major. Hopefully it's gotten better the further along you get. Junior and senior year are usually a lot better than freshman and sophomore year. Hannah's shaking her head. But typically, that's what you find here too. Okay? Stuff they liked. Good Business is the name of the book. It is very different from Triple Crown Leadership. I like Good Business a lot. Students generally have mixed reviews. Kind of depends on the kind of person you are. It is not black and white examples. It's much more like the psychology of why we do things we like and stuff like that. Anything else? More scenarios. I actually care what you guys think. I try to take your feedback and use it. That's just crap about me. I'm pretty awesome. Yeah, there you go. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Some of you have gone elsewhere, like other SOMS instructors, because I encourage you not to take me all the time. I like you guys. It's very flattering. But by all means, learn from other people. The instructors are really good. So you can also take it from other people, and you'll have a great experience. Okay? Okay. Questions about SOMS 482? Who's on the fence? Why, Sam? What can I tell you? Okay. Registration's coming up, so I don't think you won't see my name until later, until it gets closer to the semester starting, because we have to see how many people sign up. So we might have 15 classes, we might have 9 classes. So yeah. So what I would encourage you to do, you don't have to. What I would encourage you to do is register for one, and then if you want to change. If the only factor of you taking 482 is taking my section, please take it. That's great, okay? But again, go learn from other people. All the senior instructors are really good, okay? They're really good. So if you just want to take it from me, please, for the love of God, take it, okay? But don't let that be a deterrent either. Who else is on the fence? Danny, any questions I can answer?
Just trying to take minimal hours next semester.
Yeah, I mean, you can take it for 0 credit.
It's less of like the actual hours, more like course load. Just like this is what like SOMS doesn't take that much effort. Like
It really
it's the
doesn't.
effort that you put in, right? But like at the same time, it's like, oh man, I have this like end of senior year like final project for this huge class or whatever.
Sure.
And it's like yesterday I had 2 exams, and I also had to do like the discussion post.
Yeah.
And it was like,
It's the easiest part of your life, but you can complain about it if you want.
it's just like that.
Just
like
picking
the,
on you. Which is true, but it's...
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, no, I get it. I 100% get it. And I totally understand. The cool thing is we will finally, thank goodness we can have it again, but we'll have a leadership certificate ceremony just for you guys. You can come to your parents and come, and I will be there and shake your hand and give you a big hug and tell you how proud I am, and I'll lie and tell your parents how awesome you are. Okay, so if that factors in as well. Okay. Any other questions? About 42? Who's thinking about taking it? Okay. Yeah, it counts for you guys too, still for your project management minor if you guys are still here. Sam's graduating, so you can come back and take it if you want. All right, we'll see. Good answer. Okay. All right, any other questions about 42? Okay, again, I would go ahead and register for it if you're not sure, and then you can decide, right? Because you got the week, that first week to drop, no penalty, whatever. So, and again, you'll see who the instructors are and all that stuff. I will tell you that it is a lot of fun. Who's graduating in the spring? Okay, fair. Fingers crossed. Yeah, you got to pass SOMS first. Okay. Honest to goodness, it's the funniest phenomenon. As you guys start getting real close to going in the real world, all of a sudden you really care about SOMS. You're like, holy shit, tell me everything that we just learned, okay? The last 2.5 years. You're laughing now. I swear to God, you're like, oh my God, I have to go be an adult. What do I do? How do I work with people? It's pretty entertaining to me. I love it, and I help you, okay? All right, cool. Okay. Here is what we're working on for this week's assignment, okay? This is the last portion of the ILDP. You guys are terrible at it. In general, cadets do not do a good job with this, and I will prove it to you momentarily, okay? Here's what you're writing about. And this one, I will actually give you feedback, and you will probably have to rewrite it unless you learn something today. Pay attention, okay? We shall see, all right? So, it's a personal mission or purpose statement. Your personal mission and purpose statement can be a few sentences or up to a page long. It should never be a few sentences, and I'll show you why. It should be uniquely yours. The statement should help people understand who you are, what you stand for, written in your own voice, okay? Avoid idioms. What is an idiom?
Things that are commonly repeated.
No.
Someone that's stupid.
Huh?
Someone that's stupid.
That's an idiot, not an idiom. Hannah?
Is that like the phrase copycat?
Yeah, or like I hit it out of the park.
Yeah, it's all just like.
Yeah. Yes, okay. Please don't use idioms, okay? I have no idea what you're talking about, and if other people read it or other people from other parts of the world read it, which might be hiring managers, they're not going to know what you're talking about. Like raining cats and dogs, okay? But in Spain anyway, the Spanish was, it was like, there's a phrase, but it was like raining jugs of water. Is there a phrase for like, you know what raining cats and dogs means? Yeah, okay. What's the Spanish equivalent? Yeah, there's not one, right? Okay, so it doesn't make sense, right? Please don't write that way, but you guys do it all the time. It's very strange. Okay. All right. So, oftentimes you will write this, and be like, I am a cadet majoring in engineering, and I am guided by my faith, and I have strong morals and characters, and I'm really great and look forward to living a fulfilling life. Bullshit. That doesn't tell me anything about you. It could be any one of you, because everybody writes that. They all write the same crap. It doesn't tell me about you. Tell me about you, okay? And you'll write that stupid crap, and you'll come down, and it says the questions of blah, blah, blah should help you, and you'll get down here. Do I feel mission statement represents integrity I stand for? And you'll be like, oh yeah, it totally does. Does it cover all these? Oh yeah, it totally does. Does it answer these questions? Oh yeah, it totally does. No! You did a horrible job, and you're terrible at it. You're just trying to finish a crappy assignment. This is your elevator speech. This is who you are in an interview. Why do we write instead of speak?
That's a great question.
I'm about to learn you. Why, Connor? You can edit what you write, and what else?
Put more thought into it.
More thought. Good. Huh? Yes, and? All true. Connor?
It codifies within that message.
Yes. Okay, good. What else? All true.
Easy to share.
Easy to share. Good.
Typically, you mean it when you write it.
You mean it when you write it. You can remember, you can write down a lot more than you can remember. And, you touched on it, you can organize and edit your thoughts. Okay? If you go in and you're like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to say, yeah, I have integrity and I have a work ethic, and you're going to forget shit. Right? You're going to go home and you'll be like, I screwed up that interview. I didn't tell them how handsome I am. Right? Or whatever the hell you want to put in there. Right? You won't get to say that. Okay. It helps you organize your thoughts. right? And you get to tell who you are in detail. And if you write it down and go over it, and over it, you may not get it 100% accurate when they ask you in an interview, but you might get 90% of it, which is better than the 50 if you try to do it off your memory, okay? We write because we communicate far better when we write. Okay? Some of you are good at speaking, right? Enjoy public speaking. That's fine. But you need to be able to write down and put your thoughts together. Okay? It will help you in life. Believe it or not, we get people come back all the time and say, hey, I used stuff from the ILDP on my job interview, or I used it in my job application. Hand to God, I'm not lying to you guys. Okay? Also had a cadet a couple years ago. Her and her brother were both cadets. He got paid 10 grand more for, I didn't mention this with 42. He got $10,000 more hiring than his peers at the company for having the leadership certificate. Hand to God. Okay? And I was like, I need you to quote this, and we're going to document it, and we're going to paste it on the walls here. Okay? Then they had to move offices, so give me a little time on that. Okay. Okay. So, how do we do this, Dr. Payne? I'm so glad you asked me that. Read this. I wish you could see your faces right now. HB, what do you think?
Sounds like a freshman wrote it.
Why?
I feel like they repeated the same thing.
Hold on. Huh?
Don't know what you're talking
Okay. What else?
I feel like they're repeating themselves every sentence.
Yeah, okay. What else we got?
It's hard to read.
Why?
So many I's and then like no commas at all.
Okay. Connor?
I don't know how you strengthen a person. I
Yeah.
can strengthen someone. I don't know how to strengthen.
Okay, good. What else?
I am happy with then that will be a day that in my house.
This is how you sons of bitches write. It is so painful. I have to read these. And I read all of them. Okay? The reason we're doing this now is because, again, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to grade it fairly quickly, right, and get it back to you and tell you if you need to rewrite it or not. Okay, what else? What else do we notice? Emily, you're making a face.
Yeah, it was just, I will do this, and then I do this because it's
Yeah.
just like super.
Who is this about?
Everybody.
Everybody. This is any of you. Okay? That doesn't tell me about you. There's also not anything that proves any of this is true. Give me an example. Give me something. This is dog shit. Okay? Now, I can tell this person is trying to put a little bit of effort in and say I'm all of these things. All right? They wrote a little bit, and this is only a part of it. But it doesn't tell me anything about them. There's no specifics. It's repetitive, and it's poorly written. Okay? Not a lot of proofreading. All right? Okay, let's try again. It's a fake name. Let me know when you're done. There's 2 parts. You gonna read any of them, or are you staring at me? Is this the most reading you've done all semester?
I read it already.
All right, just check. We good? All right, second part. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys tired already? Braggy? Okay. What else? Other feedback?
It's a solid example.
It's like 3 or 4 different stories.
Okay. Stories?
It's just about like why he wants to be a doctor. It's like his life story. I would be a doctor. Yeah.
Okay. But you get a pretty clear picture that he wants to be a doctor?
Yeah, I thought he wants to be a doctor, but like,
You know why he wants to be a doctor?
yeah. I thought, is this like a why I take my career field? Or is
This is your purpose statement.
okay.
It's your mission statement. Is it pretty clear what this individual wants to do? Is it clear why they want to do it? Does it tell me a lot about them as an individual? What do you got, Sam?
I was just say it's really specific.
It's hyper specific. Is that a bad thing?
The story at the end seems unnecessary.
Seems what?
Unnecessary. Seems like fluff.
I liked it.
Well, they're telling me that they finished. Why'd you like it?
I don't know, it was cool.
Lit-
I thought it was something unique, you know.
We love stories. It's how we assimilate people. If you just tell me I have a 4.0 in medical school and pre-med and I'm a super genius and here's why, it doesn't. You got to explain the why. Okay, so I'm getting something out of it. Does it sound like they're a little over the top? Maybe. But does this tell me how driven they are to succeed as a medical professional? Yeah. What do you got, Emily?
I feel like that's kind of all it tells you about them, though. Like, is their whole entire personality just wanting to be a doctor and doing that? Like, if so, that's fine. But I think it also could have run into like other aspects of their life.
Yeah, and this is only a portion of it, to be honest. This is only part of what they wrote. What do we have? Somebody got a hand up.
You kind of said what I was going to say. The story at the end kind of shows that they're determined to get the things that they're doing done.
Yeah. Does this answer multiple of the questions? Okay, look at the questions on here. Who am I? Who will I serve? What will I do? How will I do it? Why? Does this answer most of those? Yeah. Danny?
I think, yeah, it does answer those. I don't think the story is necessarily fluff. I think the story is more so, it could have been more concise.
Okay.
It just kind of goes on and on about his Eagle Scout project, and it's like, it's pertinent, obviously, because it shows your background and interest in the medical field. But
Right, but this is telling us where they want to go, which is the point, right? Here is
it
my
seems like
mission.
he wants to be an Eagle Scout again.
Well, okay, so if a job asks you if you need a college degree, why are they asking you that?
They want you to show that you
Check the
completed
box.
What? Yeah, you're right. Say it again.
They want to know that you completed something.
That's all it is. Do you need an engineering degree to be an engineer? No. You study and pass a test. Okay? I have somebody who's an engineer, never went to college. Okay? It's literally just this very driven, very smart, not easy to do. Okay? You ever seen Good Will Hunting?
Great movie.
Yeah, he's like, you spent $150,000 on an education you could have gotten late fees at public library. Okay, that's my accent. I mean, Boston people in here. Right? They just want to see if you finished it. So, and your point is valid, okay? But they're saying, here's what I can do when I'm driven to succeed. I got told no, and I didn't take no, and I went and did it, and it's what I wanted to do. Connor?
I think my critique is that mission statement, like as an idea, seems more like a why, but this story about the medical kit seems more like a how.
That part's true, but what about the first part here?
The first part's good.
That's telling you the why, right?
I like Jeff Timbers' first part, but
You know who Jeff Timbers is?
Adult actor?
So if you don't do this right now, you need to take advantage. You got buddies that graduate and have jobs? Anybody have any friends who have employment who've already graduated? Yeah. We would call them, like our buddies that were upperclassmen and graduated, we would call them and leave, this probably shouldn't go on YouTube, we would leave voicemails, like whatever, like if they worked in finance, like, this is Jeff Timbers and you lost $50,000, I want my money back. So we would use Jeff Timbers as our alias, our fake name, all the time. So that's who Jeff Timbers is. Yeah. You should always have an alias, especially when you're pranking your friends. Is this personal? Yeah. Does this tell me who Jeff Timbers is? Versus the first one? Yes. It is hyper-specific, whoever said that. It should be. This is about you. don't make generic statements. Okay? All right. Next one. There's Jeff again. Two parts again. Good on this one? Okay. Three parts. Good? Okay. What do we think?
Last two slides are great. The first slide was so hard to read.
It's all hard to read.
Why?
Grammar just come.
Huh?
Grammar is really, really great.
The first sentence
Could be
was,
better.
like, should have been ended 5 times.
Okay. Devin?
I would just say that, like, he introduces selfless service, and he doesn't really fit into himself until he says, because I hold selfless service is the greatest value, that is what drives my desire to be the combat rescue officer.
Takes a minute here. This one's a little rough. The intro, it takes a little bit. This sounds fairly generic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To me, it's a little generic. Now, it took a minute. As you come down, then we get to wants to be a CRO. Okay? Then he tells us why. Then we're getting pretty good, right? Am I learning something? Yeah. I mean, it took a minute, a little generic. This is this is usually what you guys write with literally without the last sentence. It's just buzzwords, right? With no evidence or what it means to you, nothing specific. Okay? It's so awful. It's so awful, and it's not helpful to you. It's not going to do anything for you, right? I'm just literally trying to help you guys out here. Okay? Most of you don't believe me, but that's what we're doing. Okay, so we keep going. Then what do we learn? What do we learn about Jeff here on this example?
Faith.
Spiritual person, right? Got a lot of faith driving him. What does that tell me about them? Probably. I hope so. Yeah. This gets into who they are as an individual and how much their faith means to them. A lot of you guys write about faith. A lot of you. Catholic won't. He hates it. But a lot of you. Okay? Like picking on Connor. But that tells me about you, right? Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay? What do you got, Devin?
I was going to say that he believes in something beyond himself.
Yeah. Do I want my combat rescue officer to be like this? Probably. Okay? Come save my ass for the love of God. They'll be like, oh, okay, I got you. Okay? Yeah. Running like, what do you got, Matthew?
I feel like a lot of this is just definitions. It's not necessarily specific to the person. They're just kind of either defining in their words, but a lot of it is very textbook words in play.
Feels like a whole lot of why kind of like definitions, but he kind of has a hard time like linking it back, not a whole lot of why.
Yeah, okay. Look, most of you guys write one draft, never edit it, and turn it in. This is why your stuff sucks. Yeah, you guys write terribly, and you do it once, and you think spell check is a proofreader. Okay? And you spelled there right, but you used there in the wrong context. Good job. Okay? Yeah. Now, this has some great, this is a good body. Okay? It needs to be rewritten and re-edited. but I'm learning about him, right? This is again specific to that individual. This tells me they want to be a combat rescue officer. This tells me they have a calling to be a combat rescue officer. This tells me that their faith is behind what they're trying to do. If I'm interviewing this person to be a combat rescue officer, do I know why they want to do it? Yeah. Yeah. Could be written better. Matthew, you good? Hey, wait there, brother. Okay. All right. So, tell me about you guys. What would you say? Kenneth, tell me about you.
I probably, honestly, I kind of write like this.
Yeah, that's
So,
why I'm showing you idiots. Not idioms. Idiots.
So I,
Just kidding. Picking on you guys. Make sure you're awake.
on a first draft, I'd definitely be writing something about, like, my most important value is loyalty.
Okay.
So I'd definitely be throwing something.
What does loyalty mean to you, Kenneth?
Is where the second draft comes in.
Why does loyalty matter to you?
Loyalty matters to me because a couple times in the past, even when it was back in just like elementary or middle school where nothing really matters, I got stabbed in the back more times than I'm happy with, and that kind of drove me to be like, I don't want to do that to someone.
Okay.
So-
Why not?
Because I hate how it feels when it happens to me, so I don't want to do it to other people.
Okay. So if loyalty matters to you because you don't want to stab people in the back, tell me more. What are you going to do to prove that loyalty matters to you?
Good question.
Okay.
Might have to think about.
We're on the right track. I like that you have a reason. Here's something from my past that made me this way, which we all have. Okay? Be able to explain how it's meaningful to you. Any interview, Matthew, have you had pilot interviews yet? Okay. They're going to ask you, tell me something that was hard and how you overcame it, and they're going to ask the why. They're always going to ask the why. And you need to be able to explain it. Okay? Who else? What do you got, Hoover?
I had a question.
Yep.
Are we writing this specifically for the audience of a future employer in a career field that we want to go through?
No, not necessarily. I want you to actually put into action, okay, what your mission is. So yeah, you can write if your goal is to get that job, if your goal is to have a job and a family, if your goal is to have just a family, I want you to define what your purpose is. What is your mission? It is specific to you. That's why the generalities are dog shit. Okay? Don't give me general statements. I have a work ethic. How? Why? What's your work ethic? Okay? Who else? Somebody else tell me about you. Everybody's afraid. Andres, tell me about you.
Well, I guess like my career goal would be like commissioning, like into the military.
Okay, why do you want to commission?
Well, I guess like more like on a personal mission point is that I just really care about like helping develop others.
Okay, why do you care about helping develop others?
It's just like it's really like fulfilling to me. I like seeing other people succeed. I like helping other people succeed, and I really found that out by joining the Corps.
Oh.
I kind of came into it as like, okay, we'll see whether this is for me or not, and I just found that really passionate.
What happened in the Corps that led you to realize that you like helping training people?
It was really just my sophomore year.
Okay, what happened?
Fire team leader, just being able to be in charge of just like one or two.
What's a fire team leader?
You just like over one or two freshmen.
You oversee some freshmen. What do you do? How do you oversee them?
Just making sure they're holding the standard, know all the information that they need to know, just training them, checking up on them.
So this sounds a little bit like mentorship. Are you mentoring them?
I would say so.
Okay. And why are you doing that as a sophomore student?
It's just part of your role.
And why in the Corps? What's the Corps?
Leadership development.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Tell me what the Corps is. Pretend I have no idea what the Corps is. Nobody in Georgia knows what the Corps of Cadets is.
Corps Cadets, leadership development program.
Okay, that's all? How did you develop leadership?
Through physical training, through different standards, military standards.
Okay. So is it a military organization? No. No, it's a student leadership organization. Matthew, why are you shaking your head?
It's not military.
Right, okay, so help him out here. Where are we going? What's the point? You know why I'm asking you this? I want you to be able to define it. Listen, you guys who spent, almost all of you, spent 4 years here, suffering through this, whining and complaining and eating at Dunkin'. For the love of God, sell it! People don't know what it is. What is it, Caputo?
Yeah. It's not military. It's a leadership development organization that challenges you to take responsibility first for yourself and then for others, and to grow into those positions, and then eventually build a team.
How do you develop?
In having responsibility for yourself and
How?
working with peers to meet a standard collectively, and then working with those same peers to bring others to that standard as well.
Okay, so everybody's just the same. We just have to meet a standard and we're good?
No.
In the class.
What? What do you got, Sam?
Through unity.
Help him out. What do we got?
You do it through the class system. So as a freshman, you learn how to follow. So each class has a certain role within an outfit. An outfit is a unit inside of the Corps. The Corps is divided into smaller units. And an outfit is where people have their home.
Okay.
per se. And so freshmen, whenever they first come to the Corps, they learn how to follow. They are given a set of standards where they learn how to do simple tasks such as make a bed, shine shoes. But there's a certain way you do it. You have to meet that standard.
Okay.
As a sophomore, it's your job to be the attainable goals, where you learn about, you teach these freshmen how to make their beds, how to shine their shoes, and how to do it correctly. And then on top of that, you do it as well, and you do it to the same standard. That way, these freshmen can see that they can do the same thing that you did, and they can reach your position in 1 year. As a junior, you help in sort of a modified fashion. So as a junior, you help develop the sophomores and learn how to teach someone, because as freshmen, you never really had the role of teaching and taking responsibility of 1 or 2 people, because each sophomore has about 1 or 2 people that they directly look after.
Okay.
So you have to teach these sophomores how to hold the freshmen to the standard and how to develop them in certain ways. And as a senior, your goal is to inspire people. You're the light at the end of a long, long tunnel to where you just lead the way and you lead by example.
Am I hiring Matthew?
No.
Does it matter?
I guess it does if you have to check the box.
Does it?
How are you able to sell it, honestly?
Me?
No, just the example in general. Like, if you are able to show that your experience applies to whatever people are applying for, and make that matter to your employer or prospective employer, probably the leadership problem.
Correct. Yeah, Hannah?
How would you define the Corps cadets?
Doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't. You guys always want to know what I want to say. It doesn't matter. What Matthew did was give me an example. You have to be able to define it for people who know or don't know or loosely know. But this is your opportunity. You're trying to get a job. What are you doing in an interview?
Selling yourself.
Selling yourself. How many universities are in Texas? Hundreds. How many are in this country? Thousands. How many are in the world? A lot, right? Okay? There's a million of you. You're not special. Unless you are. You have to prove it. I'm not saying Ryan is. He's 4.0. He is. Did he sell it better than Caputo? He did. In my book. He told me I learned how to follow. Incredibly important, which often you guys undermine. You think everything is lead, lead, lead. We make leaders. Jesus Christ, you have to learn how to follow, because you're going to be following when you start your organization. All right? Following and leading, both are encapsulated here. Okay? In your student organization, whatever you're doing, on the soccer field, right? Okay? When you're a freshman, you're terrible. You don't know what you're doing, even if you're good, right? You still got to learn how to play with other teammates. Okay? You got to learn how the system works, but you have to be able to make it valid. It's no different than your degree. It's a piece of paper, you're checking a box. What does it mean to you? You have to be able to define that. Who am I? What am I going to do? Why did I go to school? Why the hell was I in the Corps of Cadets? All of the experiences you had here, in or out of the core, is all up to you to validate. You're trying to separate yourself from all these other people, and you better be able to do it. Okay? Because we're looking at you in every way. All right? We're literally deciding, are we going to invest in you or not? Are we going to pay you this money or not? You think, bam, I got a degree, give me a job. I don't give a shit about you. There's 100 candidates. Stand out. Okay? What else? Sam, tell me about you.
I'm Sam. See, like, this is my least favorite part of SOMS.
Yes, I understand. This is the hardest part.
3 years.
What's that?
And I've been thinking about it for like the last however long I've been in SOMS.
Okay, good.
I don't, maybe it's because I just don't know who I am. I don't really care to find out.
Okay.
Because I just feel like I am who I am, and you can like take it if you want. Or
Sure,
don't.
sure.
But it's not like my job to define myself.
I'm not asking you to find yourself. I'm asking you to define yourself. There's a difference.
What was that?
I'm asking you to define who you are, not find yourself.
No, that's what I said.
Define yourself?
Yeah.
So why do you think you can't define yourself?
You say your biggest studies job too. I mean, I could if I wanted to, probably.
I just don't want to.
If I don't want to.
How many of you would read the book if I didn't make you?
I read it.
But would you if you didn't have assignments?
No.
No.
Not that book, but maybe other books similar.
Fair enough. But look, this is why you don't have to get the degree. You don't have to be here, right? You can join the military without commissioning. You can enlist, right? You can go work jobs without getting a degree. Why the hell does it matter? I'm trying to figure out who you are because I don't know if I want to invest in you or not. So yeah, take it or leave it, but go be a truck driver then. Nothing wrong with it. Make a good living. Okay? But you have to be able to tell me about you. So tell me something about you, Sam. Because that tells me a little bit about you already.
And I was thinking about it. See all the like the examples they're geared towards like specific mission or purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And like they want a job or they want to be a pro or
Doesn't have to be about that.
yeah, but I don't know what I want, I think. And
Okay?
or I know I don't want ending, I don't know what I want next.
Okay? So we probably need to figure that out. Probably need to figure it out. Why would you need to know?
Because that's what's gonna happen next.
What?
When I graduate, I'm gonna be SOL.
Yeah, I mean, you're floating through life, right?
Yeah. And I mean, like, I have a job lined up right now. I know what I'm gonna do, but it's not necessarily what I want to do.
Okay, what do you want to do?
I want to go to Montana and disappear.
Yeah, it's awesome. I used to live there. It's heaven. Okay? Still got to pay some bills.
Yeah, that's why I'm getting a job.
Okay? But that tells me a bit about you, right? Why do you want to go to Montana and disappear?
My family's up there, and I want to be here.
Are you from there?
No.
Oh, there's a Montana license plate I see in the deal, and I'm trying to figure out who it is. Family's up there. Okay, so what about your family?
Let's see, up until a year ago, I've always lived within an hour and a half of them.
Okay, so you're close to your family. Okay, why? Why does that matter to you?
I guess I've always been there.
Okay,
Just hard not living anymore.
so what?
It's hard not being with them anymore.
Okay, so your family matters to you, right? That's important. Tell me that. Make that your purpose. Make that your mission. Do you want to have a family?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got a few steps we got to do to get there, right? So if your mission statement is to have a family and a fulfilling life and raising children, then tell me that. But you need to tell me why. Does that make sense? Okay. What else we got? Patrick.
I also want to be a doctor as well.
Okay. Why?
There's two reasons. I think the first being I enjoy solving complex problems.
Okay.
And I don't think there's anything that much more complex than the human body.
Yeah.
I've learned that through just taking all my prereq science courses, whether
Okay.
it be getting a good grade or finally understanding something that once was completely new and bizarre to me. And then to apply that to more medicine, I enjoy, or I want to be people at the most vulnerable, just
Yeah.
because whenever I was at my lowest, those people who helped me meant a lot to me, and that's what I want to do to other people, or that's what I want to be for other people.
I just learn a shitload about Patrick?
Yeah.
If he's trying to apply to med school, does that tell me why? Tell me who he is, a little bit about his past, okay? Where he wants to go. Yeah, great job. That's right. Just be able to organize it. Put that stuff down, right? Who's ever written anything like this before, on their own, without having to be an assignment? Yeah, I wish I still had mine. I wrote one senior year of college. It was like, was it this class that we do Stuart Smalley? No, it was the other. But it was almost like a daily affirmation. But I just wrote like 10 or 12 questions that I asked myself every morning, trying to figure out where I was going, okay, what mattered to me. Right? This was 1,000 years ago, and like 6 computers ago, so I don't have anything. We didn't even have the cloud or anything. Okay? And thumb drives, even those were new. Good. What else? Yes, sir.
Can I try?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we try to give just an idea of how we want to find through life and give backstory to that?
What is your mission?
Okay, my vision, so.
What's
I
your
just want
purpose?
a wife and a big ass family.
Okay.
Like, we talk like 8, 10 kids.
What the
I'm
hell?
trying to.
Yes, yes, the Catholic loves it. Okay. Yeah.
Hell no.
Okay, so how are we gonna do that?
So, we, what I want to do is, well, actually, I want to talk about my own childhood. So I grew up, my parents, they didn't originally go to college. They went back and they didn't graduate until they were 40.
Uh-huh.
So my mom raised me full time, went to school. My dad worked full time, went to school full
Okay.
time. So they sacrificed a lot. So we got really close. I want to be able to have that with my kids in a position where I have a little bit more financial stability.
Okay.
Because growing up poor sucks.
Yep.
And I was like coming to A&M, coming to the core. I was worried that I was going to repeat the things that my parents did
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and not graduate young. That's why I came to join the core.
Okay, I'm gonna cut you off because we're gonna run out of time.
Okay.
But here's what I like. You've got a lot of content in there. As you look, you guys spent 18 years on this planet before you got here, right? You spent another 3 or 4 or 5 since you've been here, right? There's a whole bunch to you. Unpack it and organize it. You're telling me great stuff that tells me, man, I want to hire Devin because he's going to work his ass off. 1, because he's scared to be broke, but 2, he's got bigger goals in life. That means something to me as an employer. Separate yourselves, right? Be able to define who you are because it matters. And I don't care what it is. I'm not grading you because you want to be an engineer or not. But you need to be able to define who you are, right? And I mean this because we're getting close. Sam's going to the real world tomorrow, okay? Some of you got 1 more semester. Some of you got another year or 2, all right? It's a coming, all right? How fast the last 3, 4 years go by? Super quick. Yeah, real world's coming, okay? So that's your assignment for the week. Cool? Go be awesome. Have a wonderful week.